Thank you for joining us this evening for our city council meeting. We'll go ahead and get started. Aubriana, could you please call the roll?
Here.
Here.
Nichols,
Here.
Mangum, Paulson,
Here.
Black.
Here. Thank you. If you'd please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, after which, if you'd remain standing for the invocation, which will be offered by Dean Gishbrick, representing Water Springs, Pocatello. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Evening, Mr. Mayor, evening, council. Romans 13 says that all authority has been given by God, and let every soul be subject to the governing authority. Lord God, we come before you. Lord, and we lift these individuals up. Lord, knowing that you have placed them for such a time as this, for such a purpose as this. Lord, we pray that you would fill them with wisdom. Lord, with grace, mercy. Lord, as they discuss topics that, Lord, are pressing for the city, pressing for individuals. Lord, we pray that you would fill them with compassion, Lord, for one another. Lord, and ultimately a love for the individuals of this city that they have been entrusted with. Lord, we commend them to you and we thank you for their willing hearts. We ask once again that you would go before them. You would wash over them in your son's precious and holy name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Dean.
Nice job.
Thank you. Very good. Okay. Agenda item number 3 is the consent agenda. The following business items may be approved by one motion and a vote. If any one member of the council so desires, any matter listed can be moved to a separate agenda item. A, material claims. Council may wish to approve the material claims for the period of April 1 through 15, 2025. B, treasurer's report. Council may wish to approve the treasurer's report for March 2025 showing cash and investments as of March 30, 2025. C, city council decision annexing approximately 77.95 acres of land located north of East Center Street and southeast of Vista Drive. Council may wish to adopt this decision annexing approximately 77.95 acres of land located north of East Center Street and south of Vista Drive. The subject property will be zoned residential low density RL.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I move that we approve the consent agenda as outlined, items A through C in agenda item number 3.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion by Council President Lurick and a second by Councilmember Cheatham. Aubriana, could you please call the roll?
Lorick,
Yes.
Cheatham,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Paulson.
Yes.
Thank you. Agenda item 4 is proclamations. We have 2 proclamations tonight. The first one will be read by Councilmember Cheatham. It is Public Works Week. The second will be read by Council President Lurick, and it is Police Week and Law Enforcement Memorial Day. Councilmember Cheatham.
City of Pocatello Proclamation. Whereas public works professionals focus on infrastructure, facilities, and services that are of vital importance to sustainable and resilient communities and to the public health, high quality of life, and well-being of the people of Pocatello, Idaho. And whereas these infrastructure, facilities, and services could not be provided without the dedicated efforts of public works professionals who are engineers, managers, and employees at all levels of government and the private sector who are responsible for rebuilding, improving, and protecting our nation's transportation, water supply, water treatment, and solid waste facilities, public buildings, and other structures and facilities essential for our citizens. And whereas it is in the public interest for the citizens, civic leaders, and children in Pocatello to gain knowledge of and to maintain an ongoing interest and understanding of the importance of public works and public works programs in their respective communities. And whereas the year 2025 marks the 65th annual National Public Works Week sponsored by the American Public Works Association, Canadian Public Works Association. Now, therefore, I, Brian C. Bladd, Mayor of the City of Pocatello, do hereby proclaim the week of May 18th through May 25th, 2025 as National Public Works Week in Pocatello, and urge all citizens to join with representatives of the American Public Works Association and government agencies in activities, events, and ceremonies designed to pay tribute to our public works professionals, engineers, managers, and employees, and to recognize the substantial contributions they make to protect our national health, safety, and advancing quality of life for all.
Yeah. Jeff told me I had about 25 minutes.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Thank you for this proclamation. Connie told me I had to sing a song, so here I go.
And a dance.
Oh, and a dance. Trust me, you don't want to hear me sing. So it's my honor to, I'm Jeff Mansfield, Public Works Director and City Engineer, and it's my honor to accept this proclamation on behalf of our Public Works employees. I'd like to read a little statement here from the APWA website. It says, this year's theme is people, purpose, and presence, and it highlights the three cornerstone ideals that motivate public works professionals to serve in their communities every day. Meeting the needs of people is what gives public works its sense of purpose. Many times, public works professionals will never meet those lives who have been impacted because when things go right, no one ever knows that public works is there. Yet with or without fanfare, public works is ever present, working in the background to advance quality of life for all. So I encourage y'all to reach out to our employees this next week and thank them for the dedicated service that they all do for our community. Thank you.
Thank you.
City of Pocatello Proclamation. Whereas in 1962, President John F. Kennedy proclaimed May 15 as National Peace Officers Memorial Day, and the week in which May 15 falls as National Police Week, as established by a joint resolution of the United States Congress in recognition of the contributions of police officers through their dedicated and selfless efforts. And whereas the members of the law enforcement agency of Pocatello play an essential role in safeguarding the rights and freedoms of the citizens of Pocatello. And whereas it is important that all citizens know and understand the duties and responsibilities of their police department, and that members of our police department recognize their duty to serve the people by safeguarding life and property, protecting against violence or disorder, and defending the innocent against deception and the weak against oppression or intimidation. And whereas the Pocatello Police Department has grown to be an innovative and scientifically advanced law enforcement agency, which unceasingly provides a vital public service. Now, therefore, I, Brian C. Bladd, Mayor of the City of Pocatello, do hereby proclaim May 11 to 17, 2025 to be National Police Week in Pocatello, and encourage all citizens as well as patriotic, civic, and educational organizations to observe the week with appropriate ceremonies and activities to commemorate police officers past and present who, by their faithful and loyal devotion to their responsibilities, have rendered dedicated service to their communities. In so doing, they have established for themselves an enviable and enduring reputation for preserving the rights and security of all citizens. I further call upon all citizens of Pocatello to observe Thursday, May 15, 2025, as Law Enforcement Memorial Day, in honor of those peace officers who, through their courageous deeds, have lost their lives or have become disabled in the performance of their duty.
Okay. Crew coming. All right. Oh, I just let you go.
Don't tip over. All right, ready? Go.
Okay. There you go. Absolutely. And I know the chief has never been short of words.
No. Thank you very much for this recognition. Right now, over in Washington, D.C., is a tough day for Sheriff Matt Clifford, who's his name of one of his officers, Deputy Tobin Bolter, is being placed upon the wall where he gave his young life serving this profession. He was shot at a traffic stop last year over in Ada County, and he left behind a wife and a young family. And that's the risk that we have to take every day, and that's always in the back of my mind, is being the leader of the department, that I knowingly put the men and women in harm's way, and that there's a family behind them. So that's always in the back of my mind, and keeping the city safe. So thank you very much. I appreciate the recognition, and sorry I wasn't here for last council meeting for that one. So I apologize for that, but thank you very much.
No worries. Thank you. Oh, yeah, I've got to remind, if you are here for agenda item number 9, that agenda item has been pulled from the agenda. We'll move to agenda item 5 is the calendar review. Council may wish to take this opportunity to inform other council members of upcoming meetings and events that should be called to their attention. May 27, 10 a.m., special city council meeting, executive session. June 2, 3, 4, and 5, city council budget development meetings begin at 9 a.m. each day. June 5, 5:30 p.m. clarification meeting. 6 p.m. will be a regular city council meeting. June 10 and 11, city council budget development meetings begin at 9 a.m. each day. June 12, 9 a.m. city council work session. June 19th, Juneteenth holiday. All regularly scheduled city council meetings on this day have been canceled. May 23 through 26, the Field of Heroes at Century High School. I would encourage everybody to go out and experience that. It is definitely an incredible place to be. On May 24, Ross Park Aquatic Center opens for the season, weather permitting. May 26, city offices will be closed for the Memorial Day holiday. However, garbage, compost, and recycling pickups will be on schedule. May 31, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., free day at the Zoo, Idaho, sponsored by Connections Credit Union. Dog licenses will expire June 1. Half-price dog licenses are being offered during the month of May. Licenses may be purchased at City Hall or the animal shelter. And a congratulations to all area high school graduates. We'll move to agenda item number 6 is taxi cab license denial appeal. Van Zyverden, thank you. Anna John Van Zyverden will be present to appeal the denial of his taxi cab license, which was denied by Pocatello Police Department. Anna John?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and council members. I recently applied for taxi license to drive within within Pocatello. I have never done that before. I've never been in front of a city council, so I'm kind of nervous. So please bear with me.
Please take your time. You're okay.
I don't know what to really say. Is the reason that it was denied was for a charge that I have had 21 years ago, and I have paid for that dearly, and I am utterly tore up. It was one of the worst days of my life, and I really don't like to relive it, and my choices that I made on that day were faults. I didn't realize what I was, how it could affect me and everything. And over the 21 years, I've had no additional charges. I've not done anything additional. I have tried to be the best citizen I can be and the best father that I can be to my children, that I now have 3. 2 of them are grown up and out of the home, and 1 remains, which is my youngest daughter, who is now going to be 13 in July. I don't know if you guys have any questions for me. I will answer best to my knowledge and ability. I don't know how else to do this.
Okay, you're okay. You're doing great. What we'll do is have Mallory come up and explain what happened, and then we'll ask you questions.
Okay.
We may have some questions then. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Mallory Bascom, Pocatello Police Licensing. I denied Anajan Van Zyverden's application for a taxi license in accordance with City Code 5.56050 subsection E, which states that applicants must possess a criminal record free from conviction for any felony or for any crimes involving moral turpitude or violence, which has a lifelong look back in our code currently. Upon examining Mr. Van Zyverden's criminal history, I found that in August of 2004, he was charged with felony child abuse with recklessness assault out of Utah and convicted of a lesser charge of physical child abuse / neglect, cruelty toward a child, which is a Class A misdemeanor, for an incident that occurred in January of 2004. For that, he was given 2 years supervised probation and a fine of $400. He was also given a 1-year jail sentence, which was ultimately suspended and did not have to be served. It should be noted that when asked on his application if he had ever been convicted of, pled guilty to, or admitted to any violation of criminal law or had a withheld judgment for any crime committed or been incarcerated, Mr. Van Zyverden listed the aforementioned conviction. I can now answer any questions you have for me.
We'll start down here. Councilmember Cheatham?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Where did this occur?
In Utah.
Utah, in a specific city?
I do not recall the city off the top of my head. I apologize.
That's all I.
Councilmember Nichols?
So even though the conviction was ultimately a misdemeanor, it's still disqualifying?
Right, because in the code, although it mentions felonies, any felony specifically, it says any conviction for any crime involving moral turpitude or violence. And so with how the language was of the conviction, physical child abuse or neglect, cruelty toward a child, it fell under the violence aspect of that.
Okay, all right, I understand.
But it was a misdemeanor.
I understand, thank you.
Council President Lurick?
I just wanted to clarify, you said he was upfront about it on the application?
That's correct.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions? Councilmember Paulson?
More of a statement to police and us. Can we change moral turpitude? Like, it's so vague. The definition just is anything wicked. I mean, I don't.
That's part of what's in the works with the evaluation of the codes we are going through currently, so.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions for Mallory? All right, thank you. Anna John, any questions for Anna John?
Yes.
Councilmember Cheatham?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This event that you said you don't want to talk about.
I'm sorry, I'm really hard of hearing.
I said, this event that you mentioned you really don't want to talk about. It was a long time ago. Are you the same person you were 21 years ago?
It was 21 years ago, and as a repercussion of this incident, I lost custody of my 2 daughters that were then adopted to their aunt. Yeah, their aunt on the mother's side. I haven't had any contact with them until they turned 18 years of age, which then they contacted me, and I have since built a relationship with both of them and explained what happened and begged for forgiveness, because I should have just simply picked her up. Instead, I didn't, and things happened.
Anna John, the question was, are you the same person that you were 21 years ago?
I'm completely different. I've changed every way that I can be. I used to be an angry individual that just hated everybody. And now I'm an Uber driver. I try to have fun. I relax. My wife, she's been everything for me and been there supporting me. And you know, I've tried everything that I can to keep my roof over my kids' heads, my food in their bellies. And this is just another way of me doing that. I need the approval and the okay to do so, but I'm willing to do anything and everything to be a productive citizen.
Super. Any other questions, council? Okay, thank you. Okay, council, this item's before you.
Mayor,
Yes.
I move to reject the taxi cab license denial.
So overturn the denial?
Yes.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilmember Paulson and a second by Councilmember Cheatham. Aubriana, could you please call the roll?
Yes.
Cheatham,
Yes.
Lorick,
Yes.
Nichols.
Yes.
Thank you. Congratulations. Mallory will help you with whatever steps you have this moving forward. Thank you. We'll move to agenda item number 7 is a public hearing, Pocatello Historic Preservation Plan. This time has been set aside for council to hear comments from the public regarding the Pocatello Historic Preservation Plan. Council may wish to adopt the proposed document as an official city plan by resolution. I declare the public hearing open.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and members of the council. Jim Anglesey, Long Range Planner for the city. Before you is a proposed update to the Pocatello Historic Preservation Plan. The existing preservation plan was adopted in 2018. And while the strengths of the plan included the context identification of historic architectural styles and history of preservation in Pocatello, the goals within the current plan lack sufficient detail in the objectives and implementation of the plan. And since the adoption of the current plan, we've done significant work to change the trajectory of preservation in Pocatello, as evidenced from the focus of outreach and education, and the improvements and standardization of the guidelines and standards of preservation in our historic district. The plan was, this proposed plan was built off of community input via community survey, which occurred last year from April to July, as well as several public meetings in coordination with the Historic Preservation Commission. The plan was also presented at a council work session back in March of this year. The goals of this plan include the following topics: survey and National Register designations, public education and partnerships, policy and incentives, and training and operations. Each of these includes specific objectives that outline the priorities of the city's historic preservation program for the next 10 years. The plan also helps fulfill goals of the comprehensive plan, particularly Goal 6 of authentic and affordable neighborhoods, which is to preserve the authenticity of Pocatello's neighborhoods and celebrate our history, architecture, and culture. Strategies within this comprehensive plan goal include identify the city's historic neighborhoods and districts and seek to preserve these resources through an updated historic preservation plan. Increase public awareness of the benefits of preservation through education and outreach. Ensure city regulations and policies support historic preservation and streamline the review process to preserve the essential elements of historic properties. And collaborate with neighborhoods by providing resources to preserve and enhance neighborhood culture, such as historic information, neighborhood planning services, and neighborhood association support. This public hearing has met all state and local requirements. And that concludes my presentation. I'd be happy to answer any questions the council may have.
Questions, council? Okay, thank you. Jim, have we received any correspondence in your office that we have not seen?
No.
Madam Clerk, have we received any correspondence in your
Nothing
office?
further.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Then I would look for any testimony supporting the application. Look for any testimony uncommitted to the application. I would look for any testimony opposed to the application. Okay, seeing none, I'm not going to let Jim come up and talk anymore. I don't think he needs to. I declare the public hearing closed. Council, this item's before you. How do you wish to proceed?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
I move that we approve the Pocatello Historic Preservation Plan as outlined in agenda item number 7.
Second.
Adopt a resolution.
You want
And
to
adopt, yes, that's what I was looking for. Adopt the proposed document as an official city resolution, city plan by resolution. Thank you.
Second.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Councilmember Paulson's tried to second this 15 times.
I just keep adding bits.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilmember Lurick, or Council President Lurick, and a second by Councilmember Paulson. Aubriana, could you please call the roll?
Lorick,
Yes.
Paulson,
Yes.
Cheatham,
Yes.
Nichols.
Yes.
Thank you. Agenda item 8.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
could I just make one comment? I was in a presentation earlier this week, and it was on the Greenway, but it was people that work with our city staff. And they were talking about the Prost plan, but they made a comment, and it's actually a compliment that I wanted to share with Jim and other city staff. They were talking about how wonderful the comp plan is, and then all these other plans that kind of come under, that's the sort of overarching vision, the big picture, but then we have all these other plans that come underneath that give the details of each part of it, and just very complimentary about the planning that's been going on lately. So, and this, I think, is another good example of that. I just wanted to share that with you all.
Super. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, we will move to agenda item 8, FY 2024 Project Safe Neighborhoods PSN Program Grant Application, Police Department. Council may wish to approve submission of the FY 2024 Project Safe Neighborhood PSN Grant Application in the amount of $11,500, and if awarded, accept the grant and authorize the mayor's signature on all applicable documents subject to legal department review. Grant funding would be used to lease 2 license plate readers, LPRs, through Flock Safety and installed in Bannock County and Power County to assist in identifying and tracking vehicles involved in criminal activity. There is no required grant match. My thing just flipped up and I didn't know what it said.
Sure, you have an excuse.
Yeah, I have one.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, I'd move to approve the Project Safe Neighborhood 2024 Program Grant Application from Police Department, authorizing your signature on all applicable documents subject to legal department review as outlined in agenda item number 8.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion by Councilmember Cheatham and a second by Council President Lurick. Aubriana, could you please call the roll?
Cheatham,
Yes.
Lorick,
Yes.
Nichols.
Yes.
Paulson.
No.
Thank you. Agenda item 9 was pulled from the agenda, so we'll move to agenda item 10. Professional Services Agreement, The Land Group. Council may wish to accept the recommendations of staff and approve a professional services agreement with The Land Group in the amount of $106,775 to develop a landscaping plan for Firewise and Waterwise landscaping along interstate interchanges and South Fifth Avenue, and authorize the mayor's signature on all applicable documents subject to legal department review. The project is funded by the U.S. Forest Service grant administered by the Memorandum of Understanding, MOU, with the Idaho Department of Lands.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Move to approve agenda item number 10 as listed.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion by Councilmember Nichols and a second by Council President
Mr.
Lurick.
Mayor,
Yes.
before we vote, could we ask Hannah to come explain exactly what it is we're doing here?
Hannah was hoping we would ask her to come up and do that, so yes.
Evening, Mayor and Council. Hannah Sanger, Science and Environment Division Manager. This grant is going to be used to do the design work to look at Pocatello Creek interchange, the west side of the Center Street interchange, and then right-of-way areas from the North Gate roundabout to the interstate and along 4th and 5th Avenue from Oak Street down to Center Street, so along Pocatello Ave as well, and then near the Pocatello sign on South 5th, to redo those landscapings in line with council priorities, which was water-wise, and then this is a fire-wise grant, so we're going to make all of those areas fire-wise as well, which is a provision of the grant.
One question. We've had a little problem with federal grants of late. Is this one endangered?
No, this grant was paused and it has been reopened, so it is good to go. Yep, we had received a do not work letter and then it was taken away, so.
Thank you.
Councilmember Nichols.
Could you explain sort of some of the basic components of Firewise?
Yeah, so junipers are not very fire-wise. And tall grasses are also not fire-wise. And interstates are a place where a lot of wildfires start. And so the intent is to make our interstates in general more fire-wise so that the wildfires don't run up into neighboring houses. So this will also be sort of used as a demonstration site for this part of Idaho for what you can do at various interchanges and, changing vegetation out so that it is more fire-wise.
Right.
So out of this, we will have plans that the public can look at and use in their homes and yards if they wish.
Great, thank you.
I might just make a comment on the federal grants comment that you made. They're still coming. I just received another a text this afternoon before I walked in here that we received a $1.75 million EPA grant. And so it's kind of confusing what they're doing with things. And so who knows? Anyway, thank you, Hannah.
Yep.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilmember Nichols and a second by Council President Lyric. Aubriana, can you please call the roll?
Nichols?
Yes.
Lorick?
Yes.
Cheatham?
Yes.
Paulson?
Yes.
Thank you. Agenda item 11, airport lease termination resolution and lease agreement airport. Council may wish to consider the following request for 5,600 square feet of property at the airport and authorize the mayor's signature on all applicable documents subject to legal department review. A, approve termination of the lease agreement between the City of Pocatello and Stacy Meyer dated November 5, 2020. And if approved, B, adopt a resolution and approve a lease agreement between the City of Pocatello and JRM Flyers Club, LLC, for 5,600 square feet of property upon which JRM Flyers has purchased an aircraft hangar. The lease will be for a term of 40 years. Rental rate will be $1,288 per month, per year, and will be increased annually according to the CPI with a full rate review in 2026 and every 5 years thereafter.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, I'd move for approval of the airport lease termination, the resolution and lease agreement at our airport, and authorize your signature on applicable documents subject to legal department review. This includes items A and B in agenda item number 11.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion by Councilmember Cheatham and a second by Council President Lyric.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
could we give our airport manager equal time at the microphone
We
to
can.
explain why we're canceling a lease at the airport?
He also was hoping that he would be called up. It's amazing how this happens.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. This is Alan Evans, Airport Manager. Yeah, so this is a hangar that Stacy Myers has built and has owned, and he's just sold it now, and so that lease needs to be canceled. And the new owner, JRM Flyer, is taking it over, so that's what it is.
It strikes me that 40 years is a lot longer than we've been doing leases at.
Yeah, we can do that. The FAA doesn't like us to go too far out, but that does fit within the requirements that they have, and so this is what he asked for, and so we agreed to do that as well. So
Is this a single
it is
aircraft hangar?
Yes, it's a single hangar. I think with the size, he can fit 2 planes in it pretty easily, but yeah.
Thank you.
Super. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilmember Cheatham and a second by Council President Lyric. Aubriana, could you please call the roll?
Cheatham?
Yes.
Lorick?
Yes.
Nichols?
Yes.
Paulson?
Yes.
Thank you. Agenda item 12, lease agreement and resolution, Riverbend Communications LLC. Council may wish to adopt a resolution and approve a lease agreement with Riverbend Communications LLC for a property easement to operate and maintain a broadcasting booster antenna, and authorize the mayor's signature on all applicable documents subject to legal department review. The lease term will be 3 years and the rental rate will be $260 per month. Councilmember Cheatham.
Got awful quiet, didn't
It did.
Mr. Mayor, I'd move for approval of the lease agreement and resolution with Riverbend Communications for the broadcast booster station and authorize your signature on all applicable documents subject to legal department review as outlined in agenda item 12.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilmember Cheatham and a second by Councilmember Paulson. Aubriana, could you please call the roll?
Cheatham,
Yes.
Paulson,
Yes.
Lorick,
Yes.
Nichols.
Yes.
Thank you. Agenda item 13, declaration of surplus property and equipment exchange agreement, Sanitation Department. Council may wish to accept the recommendations of staff and declare 2 Sanitation Department vehicles as surplus property and approve an equipment exchange agreement with Future Enterprise Incorporated to exchange the vehicles for cardboard recycling routes and containers, and authorize the mayor's signature on all applicable documents subject to legal department review.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, I'd move to declare the surplus property of 2 sanitation department vehicles and authorize the equipment exchange agreement in the sanitation department with the Future Enterprises Incorporated, and authorize your signature on all applicable documents subject to legal department review.
Second.
Thank you. I've got a motion by Councilmember Cheatham and a second by Council President Lurick.
Mayor.
And I know we wanted to hear from Tom, so he was already running up here when we.
I signaled to him.
Oh, you gave him the signal.
Give me the. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Tom Kirkman, Director of Public Services. So we have built a capital replacement plan for our vehicles in sanitation. We're a very equipment vehicle-driven department. And so through our 5-year study, our rate study, we have a capital replacement plan on equipment. We run those trucks for about 7 to 8 years. Or a certain amount of hours, and then when we're purchasing the replacement for that, we get a value back from the company that's providing the truck, and then we have a decision of whether, when we bring it in to surplus those trucks, whether we trade them in on a new truck or we have the opportunity to auction them or other things. So we were approached. Western Recycling we've become pretty good working relationship with Western Recycling. They're the ones that own the building that we purchased for the recycling center. They reached out and they were interested in the trucks that we are going to be surplusing. So we talked about that a little bit, and then as conversations went along, it became apparent they want to try and consolidate their operations. They're getting to the point where they want to think about retirement, and so we started talking back and forth about potential exchange. They service a commercial cardboard route in the city of Pocatello. Once they sold the facility in Pocatello to us, they really don't have a place to haul it, so they're hauling it. They're driving down from Idaho Falls and then driving back to Idaho Falls. So one of the city council's goals was to start a commercial cardboard recycling program, and so I think this exchange really ties into that. We'll be getting approximately 59 to 60 containers and the customers along with it.
Mr. Mayor, Mr. Kirkman, could you describe the route? Is it within the city of Pocatello?
Yes, it is. It's located behind commercial businesses throughout the city. We were given a list of all the locations and the containers. But yeah, we're not collecting cardboard. We don't want to get in the business of collecting cardboard out of town.
Okay.
Yes. Councilmember Nichols.
So these 59 bends and routes, is that the extent of Western's operations, or they'll be out of the cardboard game in Pocatello?
Yeah.
Okay.
They'll continue. They have a small route in Chubbuck. They'll continue to operate that route.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
do we have any memorandum of understanding or agreement for non-compete that they won't jump back in at some point down the road?
Yeah, we looked at that down, and it's not really in the city's best interest legally to do that. The recycling business isn't something that we can do exclusive on. Is that correct, Jared?
That is
Did I say that okay?
Okay,
Thank you.
all right, thank you. Then we have a motion by Councilmember Cheatham and a second by Council President Lurick. Aubriana, could you please call the roll?
Cheatham,
Yes.
Lorick,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Paulson.
Yes.
Thank you. Agenda item 14 is items from the audience. We have nobody signed up to speak at this meeting on this agenda item. So with that, I would like to thank the council for their hard work this morning. It's been a long day for you, and so thank you very much for being here and for your work this morning. And with that, we are adjourned.